We're back to the Neil Haley Show on the Total Celebrity segment, and I'm excited about my guest. Oh, my gosh, legendary singing legend and much more, Pat Boone. Pat, thanks for calling. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, and thanks for that kind of introduction. I've been around a long time. I guess I could qualify as a legend, or some say a myth. but I'm real, and I am, just as parenthetically, I think the only performer ever to headline the same venues 50 years apart. I can't think of anybody. I mean, Al Jolson, Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, whoever you might think of, headlining the same venues now over 50, even 60 years apart. So there's something to be said for just longevity.
Oh, absolutely. And did you think that when you started in the entertainment business that you would be where you are today with what you did?
Oh, no, I was going to be a school teacher anyway. I was not thinking of a recording or a career. Even when the first hits started happening, the rock and roll hits, covers of rhythm and blues songs, and doing what we call rock and roll, because there was no rock and roll up to that point. And because rock and roll, the phrase was a euphemism for sex.
Oh, my. Yeah.
And so we were calling this music rock and roll, and it was. And but I thought it was just a flash in the pan, and I was continuing my education at Columbia University on my way to being a school teacher. I thought that this singing thing was just almost like a summer vacation, and it was going to provide maybe money to put a couple of my kids through college eventually, and it did. But no, I wasn't thinking of any kind of longevity as a singer.
See, and that's amazing. And then there you go. And what kind of, Pat, and then we're getting into your latest projects really, really soon, but I wanted to go and say that kind of made you branch out to other things in entertainment. What made you so interested in, talk show host?
Well, I am just by nature eclectic and curious. And I am descended from Daniel Boone. That's a direct descendant from his oldest son, James. Yeah, and so, he was a pioneer. He was kind of restless. He liked to go where other people hadn't gone, and he became a very significant pioneer and literally a legend in his own time. He was written an epic poem by the world's poet laureate at the time, Lord Byron. And if you're the subject of an epic historic poem while you're still living, then you are a living legend. And he was. But I think I know I inherited some DNA liking the idea of exploring, of experimenting, of doing things that I hadn't done before. So I now hold other distinctions of having had success in more genres of music than any other singer, in country and pop and rock and roll, heavy metal, folk, spoken word, all kinds of genres of music with success, not just exploring. But when I did the heavy metal album, nobody had done anything like that. Big band jazz records or recordings of heavy metal classics. But when the idea came up, the musicians and I on tour in England, trying to think of some kind of a album we could make together, we first jokingly said, well, we could do heavy metal. You never did that.
Right.
But as we talked and joked about it, we realized there were some really good songs that we could do a different way with big band jazz arrangements, and who knows, maybe people would like it. And so we did it, and sure enough, they did.
That's amazing. And so, Pat, that's something where you say to yourself, okay, I tried all these things. The heavy metal story, that has to be interesting. That probably shocked a lot of your fans of rock and roll in the days with you and Elvis, that you came to this heavy metal idea. What made you so interested in heavy metal that you said, I'm going to do this too?
Just that it was a genre of music that I, first of all, didn't know much about. I didn't care for the heavy metal music that I had heard. It all sounded angry. I could never make out what they were saying in most cases. I didn't know why they were shouting at the top of their voices and screeching and howling. I mean, I wasn't attracted to it. And but when my musicians started talking about some quality songs underneath all the noise, I was curious. So I asked them to give me some recordings of songs that they thought we might do a different way. And when they did, I started hearing the songs, and I liked them. I heard the messages even in Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train. I thought, well, that's quality social commentary about the difficulty young people have in sorting out the real from the false, from the honest from the hypocritical, going off the rails on a crazy train. And I thought, wow, I'd like to do that song. And then Alice Cooper's No More Mr. Nice Guy is a true story about a guy who was really living a pretty good, clean life like Cooper was, except for the drugs at one point, for quite a while, actually. But he was a good guy, son of a preacher, and that he went to church one Sunday and the preacher punched him in the nose. Well, that didn't actually happen, but he was written off by people with whom he did identify personally. And so, I could hear the quality in some of the lyrics of the songs. And then, of course, I was curious about Stairway to Heaven because I heard that Jimmy Page and some of the guys were practicing witchcraft, and those crazy, odd lyrics. I wanted to decipher them. Well, I couldn't. They didn't really signify anything. They were just weird images, and but the melody was hypnotic, and so we did our versions of those songs, and we didn't know how people would react, but MCA really thought that's where all my catalog of over 1,500 recordings is. And they said, if you're going to do an album of heavy metal songs, it ought to be here with the rest of your product. So we did, and they quintupled the budget that we were planning.
Wow.
So we could use live big band orchestras and background singers and do it really first rate, and we did. So when we went on the American Music Awards at Dick Clark's invitation, and Dick, his idea was that Alice Cooper and I would swap images. That Cooper would come out in a V-neck sweater, white buck shoes, carrying a glass of milk.
Yeah.
And I would come out dressed in leather and tattoos and choker and all that. And that would be the kind of humor in the situation, that we had swapped images. Well, at the last second, while the show was on the air, Cooper backed out. He said, I'm not going to walk out in white bucks and carry a glass of milk. I just can't do it. But I wasn't going to back out of doing what Dick Clark had asked me to do, and he'd already had the costume,
right?
The heavy metal jacket, just vest, no sleeves, no shirt, just just a vest with my bare chest and tattoos on each pec, and that was what he wanted me to do, and I was going to do it, and we did, and it really set the record industry on its heels for a few minutes, because they didn't know what to make of an album of heavy metal songs with big band jazz arrangements, but it went halfway up the chart the first week and was a hit. So, I felt great about it. I got kicked off Christian TV for about 2 months until the dust settled and they could realize, hey, this is good music. There's nothing wrong with it, and nothing wrong with Pat Boone wearing tattoos and leather either, as long as he's still Pat Boone. And I am. So it was fun. It was just purely fun to do something that was a shocker, and yet nothing wrong with it. Something totally original. Exactly.
Well, what's interesting is that, again, already this is released on Gold Label Artists. They're releasing this commemorative anniversary edition CD of your iconic album. So that's got to be exciting for you.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and still is. And Tom Jones and Paul Anka and others tried to do something similar, but they didn't choose songs with the same kind of quality, nor did they record them with the quality big band jazz musicians and arrangers. So I'm really proud of it. It kind of stands alone, and it's an iconic thing, and, I get a kick out of it. And now, of course, I'm doing something else that no pop singer has ever done, and that's taking a tour to Israel next May.
Wow.
Celebrate the 70th anniversary of the modern state of Israel. And I'll be doing concerts in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem.
Wow.
All my pop songs, but also the song for which I wrote the words, the second Jewish national anthem, "This land is mine, God gave this land to me."
All right.
I wrote those words for Ernest Gold's beautiful melody, and we'll be singing it in concert and all my other songs too. And then we're going to do a TV special at the Roman Amphitheater in Caesarea and bring it all home for national TV here. So we're commemorating the 70th anniversary of the modern state of Israel. You can go to patbooneisraeltour.com and come with us, get all the information, and sign up and come along.
All right, well, fantastic. And that's the best place we can find information on everything, the albums and all that, is to go to that website. Is that correct, Pat?
Yeah, patboone.com. One, that's just simple, patboone.com. But the other is patbooneisraeltour.com. Of course, we could hook you up even from patboone.com, but just want to know about the tour. It's patbooneisraeltour.com, and it's going to be big. It's going to be historic because it is built around the historic date of the founding of the new nation of Israel that was there to stay. It was prophesied in the Bible 4,000 years ago, and then later 2,000 years ago, that Israel would be reborn in a day, and that day was May 14th, 1948, and we're going to commemorate that next May 14th in 2018.
Awesome. Well, Pat, thanks for calling. It was an honor to have you on the show. Learned about you being almost a school teacher and your career and where it took you and where it's taking you today. So thanks again for calling. It was a tremendous story. Take care.
Hey, I enjoyed it. Do it again sometime.
Absolutely, Pat. Take care. Bye. You're listening to Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment. We're back to the Neil Haley Show on the Total Celebrity segment. And my kids love this show. This show reminds me of my family in a certain ways because I have 5 kids of my own. So I'm excited to welcome to the program celebrities CERINA VINCENT of Disney Channel, Stuck in the Middle. CERINA, thanks for calling. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Good, very good. So when you talked off air, you talked about Thanksgiving dinner. We're getting ready to prepare. How big is your family, by the way, before we get into really this crazy Stuck in the Middle family?
Well, I come from a really big family. I have just a brother and a sister in my immediate family. But I have 36 first cousins, 64 second cousins, and like hundreds of third cousins. Like, I come from a huge family, and we're all shockingly really close. My dad has 9 brothers and sisters. My grandma had 12 brothers and sisters. So family is like a huge part of my heart. And so it's kind of funny when I got the audition for this role on Stuck in the Middle to play the mother of 7 children, I felt like it was perfect for me. Like, I knew this. I'd never done anything like this before in my career. Like, I couldn't even get an audition to play a mom. But it's because of the connection to my own family and, like, the importance of that to me that I felt like it was really meant for me. And then I got it, which was awesome.
What's amazing about the show in so many ways is that it's unlike any other show. And once our family started to watch it and stuff, it reminded us completely, specifically because we have to leave people be. We have 5 kids. The oldest is 12. The youngest is 3. And we just understand specifically it's going to be organized chaos. And this is what the show, but really it's not been highlighted a lot on Disney, where it shows not just the parents at times are a little bit flustered, but the kids are flustered in such a big family like this.
Yeah, I think it's that you recognize that, and thank you. I writers are really, really talented, and I think our show is showing a side of families that we haven't seen on Disney Channel, and that, you know, kids are people that get frustrated and like annoyed, and you know, all of those things that you get with your big family, and but then of course every episode has a theme and a message, and they all come back together. But I agree with you, and it's just that the writers are really smart. There's just the shows are full of jokes, and they're full of life and real life scenarios, and then also like magical inventions. It's I don't know how they do it, honestly.
So tell me specifically how you are the mother of 7 in this show, but how do you, because you're on set with these kids all the time, how you are kind of like a surrogate mom to them as well, in the way of being, It's really special. I'm actually on set right now. It's our lunch. Really? Oh.
It's really special. Yeah. Yeah. It's really special. I mean, now we're on season 3, so like I've gotten to know these kids and watch them grow, and because you have children, how quickly they grow and how much changes in 3 years. So, from day one, we were just instantly bonded, and they touched me in a way that you don't get with any other, like I've never experienced with another co-star before, like as an actor. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm in a scene. Last night I was in a scene with Jenna and Isaac. I was in a scene with them, and I was also just watching them. And I was like, oh, they've grown up. They got taller. They're so, talented and professional and beautiful. And like I feel maternal instincts for them. Like I feel proud of them as I'm also working with them. It's really strange, but beautiful. And they do. I mean, I don't want to say, oh, they love me, but I think that they do. And we all have a different bond, but a really special bond.
Well,
I'm kind of like their older sister, like the cool aunt, because I'm not really their mom, but they listen to me.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's always happens with the big families, that the mom with a bunch of kids a lot of times is still young at heart, because they have to go through different phases and then go back to the young phase of young mom again,
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of interesting just as playing, as this role, what other kids, I've realized, like kids on the street, they recognize me from this show. Kids have an instant, when you're a mom on a TV show, kids instantly trust you. They'll just like jump into my arms. It's pretty sweet. So it's fulfilling working with the kids that I work with, and then it's also just a fulfilling role in general. And it's funny, like it's fun as an actor. I'm getting to do kinds of fun, kooky, stunty things and quirky comedy that I wasn't getting the opportunity to do in some of the other roles I played, over the years.
Absolutely. Well, CERINA, how I learned about the show was I interviewed Ronnie Hawk, and Ronnie was such a sweetheart.
Oh,
and I had her on my show. I think it was about a year and a half ago. But she's awesome, and she kind of explained the show to me. I said, this is perfect for our kids to watch. But Ronnie's character is funny in a certain way that, guess what? Because she's the oldest, she gets away the most because you're too busy chasing after the other ones. That's the other story of a big family. It happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we do. When she gets caught, she gets disciplined. But you're right. Like, she definitely, the oldest, her character is so funny and so like sassy teenagers, and she does such a great job. But I do think that the writers are pretty careful about, if she is being a sassy, mouthy teenager, that she's like punished for it in some way. Punishes her.
Absolutely, that's the other thing. But sometimes you see these other shows, CERINA, where they don't allow that. They let the kids be sassy and not get punished, and the parents are dumb as anything. That's not the case in this show. You really punish them.
Yeah, and I mean, when we mouthed off, we'd get slapped across the face, like as kids, like in my family. and I know nobody does that anymore. But I turned out fine. We're definitely not slapping anyone on Disney Channel. But sorry, I'm outside and there's a big semi truck driving. You know what I mean. Like,
I know.
we're not gonna let them get away with it. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking to Serena Vincent of Disney Channel Stuck in the Middle. Your character as the mom, in so many ways, how you and your husband, TV husband, are able to create natural consequences for these kids. I love it. It's funny. It's how you'll kind of let them go and make their own mistakes, and then they learn from those lessons. That's a great idea. That's really surprising.
Yeah. Again, it's like these writers are awesome, and yeah, Joe Nieves, who plays my husband, who plays the dad of all these kids. He's a fabulous actor and human, and we decided in the very beginning of the show that we didn't want to be the kind of parents who hated each other. You know, there's so many like shows where like the wife is just always giving the husband a hard time, and vice versa. You know, there's that sort of like conflict and whatever banter back and forth that sort of like has underneath that banter is like annoyance or something. And we're like, we don't want to be that. We want to look like a loving couple. We want to look like we like each other. We have 7 kids, so we must like each other, you know? So we kind of made that choice. And even when they write us some things that are like sarcastic towards each other, we play them. They can be played 2 ways, and we just always choose to play the way that's like we're being funny with each other and not like I secretly hate you. And that was just our choice. And then all the writers have like gone with it, and we get a lot of fun little things together. And I think that's really important too.
Absolutely, and that's the nice thing. Now, how do you think the show's evolved going into season 3? Again, season 3 premieres December 8th on Disney Channel, and everyone's going to be excited about that. But like you've seen, what do you think is leading into this season that's different than the first 2 seasons? Because that's always the thing, the challenge of writers, to keep a show continually growing and evolving when the kids grow up.
Yeah, so we're shooting season 3 right now. Again, these writers are amazing. I mean, the kind of the cool thing about the kids growing up is that they're growing up, and so there's like new experiences. And, you know, obviously the show is seen through Harley's eyes, through Jenna's, eyes, so her perspective. So she's growing, so like she's like in high school, so then there's like high school drama and, you know, new characters and things happening in our family dynamics changing. And, you know, as Rachel's finishing high school, like what's she going to do and how does that change our family? So with 7 kids, there's so much, you know, we're keeping it going by just like natural things that happen in normal families and how everybody grows and changes, and you got to flow with it. And then of course, like the season premiere is a Christmas movie, that airs this Friday the 8th, and we go on a trip to see Abuela for Christmas, and so like that's super fun. So we're not like stuck in the house; we're like out in the world and bringing our crazy family out in the world, and planes and all kinds of trains and automobiles, and so they're keeping it going too by just like putting our family in more elaborate locations and the chaos that comes with that.
And I love the word chaos, because that is something that big families, and I don't think my wife gets it. She was one of 3. I was an only child, but with 5, that life is always going to be chaotic. There is no way to control it. And through the writers showing this huge family, this is just what happens, because there's just not enough eyes on a bunch of kids that are all different in so many ways to keep things, you know, sane. It's not. It's always going to be chaos, but fun chaos.
Yeah, yes, it's always going to be loud. It's always going to be, someone's going to be happy, someone's going to be crying, someone's going to be hungry. Like, it's just, and, you know, it's like that on set, too. Like, you know, put all 9 of us in the Suburban to do a scene. It's the kids are fighting, everybody's complaining, and someone's got to pee, and someone's got chopstick, and someone is hungry, and when's lunch, and are we almost done? Like, they're all, like, so professional and incredible, but, like, when you know what I mean, when you just like a real family when you get into that situation. You know, we're working and it's long hours and they're tired. Everybody's tired, and we sort of become that. It's pretty funny. And then I'm like, you guys, stop it! Come on, one more. Just.
You have a cool story to talk about the kids and how crazy one's a scene you shot, CERINA, that you can share with us. That it was that kind of family dynamic to try to get that scene shot. Do you have a story?
It happens all. Multiple. I can't just pick one. It's, where or I give a lot of back tickles and back scratches just to keep everybody calm and instead of running around. I can't just pick one. I mean, when I'm just doing a scene with like last night, I was saying I did a scene with Jenna and Isaac. It was just three of us. Nobody's bouncing off the walls. Everything's fine. But you get 9 people in a room together. It doesn't matter what combination of 9 people. It's going to be loud, And so, it's exciting. It's exciting.
What about being part of the Disney family, CERINA? That's got to be great, too, being part of the Disney family, with how Disney Channel connects with all of the Disney products and how really you guys are a family, anyone that's on the Disney Channel in so many ways.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, really grateful to be to be on Disney Channel and to be working for them. I've had a really eclectic career, and I've done some edgier roles, and I've been it was a goal of mine to sort of get back into sort of family stuff, because that you can do forever. And so, I mean, Disney is I never imagined being on Disney Channel. I mean, I did as a kid, but as an adult, I didn't really think about that. So it feels just a dream come true. And I think as everybody in the cast feels, lucky to be working with them. But then day to day, we're just on set and working and shooting the show, and I'm not watching Disney Channel because I don't have kids yet. And, when I go home, I don't turn on Disney Channel. I turn on CNN or something. You know what I mean? So you can kind of forget how much we are out there all over the world, and how powerful Disney Channel is. But I am grateful.
Being recognized everywhere, too, and having so many fans, CERINA, as well, is cool as well with the Disney fans, right? How they're just so crazy about stuff and all that.
It's sweet. It's sweet. Whenever, it's sweet. I don't get recognized all the time because, I'm not often in locations with just tons of kids, unless I'm at a location with tons of kids who know that I'm there. You know what I mean? And know that I'm Susie from Stuck in the Middle. So, but like I said, when I do they recognize me from my voice. A lot of times kids in supermarkets will be staring at me, and then I'll say something to someone, and then they recognize me by my voice, which I find fascinating. And then, and just if I'm, not dressed like my character, I can look different. But then I'm at an age where all of my friends have children, and I have a ton of little cousins and kids in my family. So I'm the most popular person at the parties now. I don't even get to hang out with my friends anymore. They're sitting by the pool drinking margaritas, and I'm in the house watching Stuck in the Middle with their kids. Because their kids are fans and love the show and love me because of it. So it's just really sweet. It's just an unexpected, sweet position to be in.
Well, it was an honor to talk to you today, especially on set. I think that's even cooler when I tell my kids, I talked to a star in Stuck in the Middle right on set. So best place we can find info. Any other projects going on right now, CERINA, that you want to kind of promote that's going on with you? December 8th is huge. Everyone needs to tune into Disney Channel.
Yeah. So I did a movie, I don't know exactly the age group of all your listeners, but I did a movie called Broken Memories that is about Alzheimer's, and it's starring Rance Howard, who sadly just passed away a few days ago. It's Ron Howard's father, and it came out November 11th, and it's on VOD and iTunes. You can find it. It's called Broken Memories. It's really special, and anybody who is a caretaker of anybody with dementia or Alzheimer's, or anybody that knows anyone who suffers from that, I think will find it really moving. And I had a thing it's after Thanksgiving. I had a Thanksgiving movie on Hallmark, but that's over now. And a Lifetime movie called The Killer Work Wife that comes out sometime early next year. And you can follow me at CERINA VINCENT on Twitter or Instagram. CERINA.
You're fabulous, Serena. Thanks again for calling. Enjoy your work on Stuck in the Middle and all your other projects, and look forward to chatting with you again. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
See ya. All right. Bye. You're listening to Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.
We're back to the Neil Haley Show on the Total Celebrity segment. Oh my gosh, and I'm excited my guest I have on the line, country music star Dustin Lynch. Dustin, thanks for calling. How are you?
Neil, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, Dustin. I know you got to be really enthused and excited about being part of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I'm sure all of us growing up remember watching it, and for you to be part of this, it's got to be huge for you.
It is. The inner kid of me is jumping up and down, and I guess I still am a kid, so I'm jumping up and down too. It's a dream come true. It's my first parade I've ever been a part of. It happens to be Macy's, and a tradition for me and my family to watch together, at home on Thanksgiving Day. So my family's never been to New York City. I flew them all up, and we're going to do it all together for the first time here in New York City and make a big vacation out of it.
Well, what I think's so cool about this, Dustin, is the fact that, again, like you said, you grew up watching this, the pageantry of this parade, again, on Thursday, November 23rd. The coverage starts at 9 a.m. to noon, and just the amazing pageantry and the excitement, the awesome floats, the big balloons, everything that's about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and you're part of it, and you get to perform. You got to be pinching yourself.
I am, yeah. I'm riding the KFC float, which I think is pretty awesome. It'll be me and the Colonel and his Cadillac up there, and we'll be having a big time. And then I get to perform my song Small Town Boy in front of millions and millions of people. It's going to be amazing.
No, absolutely. And in front of millions of people, and then thinking about the KFC float you're on. When you heard that was going to be part of it, that's got to be cool with the Colonel and stuff, right?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. With the Colonel, I obviously being from Tennessee, I grew up eating KFC and still do, and I'm hoping the Colonel gives me a little golden ticket to some free chicken or something. We'll see, or maybe we're throwing chicken out. I don't know, but hopefully we get some buckets of chicken involved some kind of way tomorrow. For
our listeners out there that do not know about the premise of Small Town Boy, tell us a little bit about Small Town Boy, how you wrote that song and sing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's off my album that we just put out called Current Mood, and it's the second single actually off of that album, and my biggest hit so far in my career. It really has changed my lives and really changed my life on tour. So many people are coming out to our shows right now. It's pretty mind-boggling to me that this is real life, and I think the reason being is the connection with this song is, it goes beyond just the small town boy or girl thing. It speaks to the connection that we all look for in life, and that's finding that true and honest love between someone, yourself and someone else, and I think that's why everybody's related so well to it and come out and want to see us do it live.
And that's the great thing of doing it live and calling yourself a small town boy. How did you grow up? Like, kind of explain the kind of town you grew up in and how compared to being in New York City right now and the differences.
It could be no more different, to be honest. My small town has grown a lot over the years. We actually have fast food joints now, so that's cool. But it's pretty opposite. That's why this vacation with my family is going to be so cool because it's totally we're fish out of water up here. I've been coming to New York a lot over the past several years. Doing what I get to do now, and I love it. I'm starting to get the hang of the New York City life. and really appreciate everything it has to offer. So I'll be a little bit of a tour guide for them. We're going to, do a lot of touristy things. Go see the Statue of Liberty, go to some museums, catch a couple Broadway shows. So we're going to hit most everything we can.
Absolutely. And for your album, for your fans, The Current Mood, what do you think of the whole album in general? You talked about just, first of all, just Small Town Boy, but other things on the album and other songs on the album.
Yeah, this album, Current Mood, is made up really of the last 3 years of my life. The relationships I've been in, the travels, adventures I've been on, and the friendships I've made. And it's kind of, each song has its own place. It's kind of its own setting. And this album came together song by song like that over the course of 3 years. So it's a different kind of album for me because it's every song's unique sonically and subject matter wise. But it is, I can say, from being on tour on the Ride or Die tour over the past few weeks, we kicked it off. This album really lends itself to date night. Believe it or not, I'm watching people in the crowd, and the guys and girls are dancing to every single song and singing every single song to us. So I'm very proud of what the Current Mood album's already done, and excited to see where it takes us from here.
So what kind of Thanksgiving are you planning with your family in New York City? Again, it's Thanksgiving. You're used to having it at a house or somewhere else, or maybe you might be on the road. How are you planning on having that Thanksgiving turkey on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, we're used to being at home, on the couch together, hanging out, watching football and the parade and whatever. This year, obviously, totally different in a big city. I didn't realize you have to have reservations pretty much everywhere you go this time of year in New York. So we have a reservation to go eat Thanksgiving dinner, lunch or dinner. I can't remember which one. I think we're doing kind of in between, and that'll be fun. I'm not sure what New York City's like on Thanksgiving Day, so we'll get experience together. I'm hoping to get a big meal in and then go do a little ice skating in Central Park. That's the goal. Work off meal number one and go get meal number two somewhere.
And it's feeling like the holiday season. It's getting colder now. It's a perfect time to enjoy New York City, enjoy the Thanksgiving Day parade. I remember one time I was not home for Thanksgiving. I was on the road. I was a former professional wrestler in Germany, and I had to ask for turkey the night of the thing. There was some German restaurant. They're like, okay, we can give you it. So that's the strangest Thanksgiving story I have, is being in Bremen, Germany for Thanksgiving. But every other time, it's been with family.
Yeah, I've got a feeling. I'm glad I get to do this one. Being in New York, it's great that I've got the privilege of having my family here. So it won't feel so bizarre. A little normality to it. So we'll do the best we can. All
right, country star Dustin Lynch, we have on the program. Everyone needs to tune in on tomorrow, again, November 23rd, 9 a.m. to noon, and watch you perform. Where's the best place we can find info on you, Dustin? Where can we go?
DustinLynchMusic.com is my website, and it can take you anywhere and anything me.
All right, Dustin, thanks for calling. We'll be tuning in tomorrow with my whole family, watching the parade and watching you perform. So thanks again for calling. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Neil. Enjoy. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, happy Thanksgiving to you too as well. Bye-bye. You're listening to Neil Haley's Show. We'll be back in just a moment.
We're back to the Neil Haley Show in the Total Celebrity segment. I'm excited to welcome to the program celebrity Teddy Sears. Teddy's going to talk to us today about Hallmark Channel's holiday movie, Christmas in Evergreen. How are you, Teddy? And are you in the Christmas season now? After Thanksgiving, Black Friday happens. Are you in that Christmas season?
I'm not going to lie to you. My wife would decorate the house in October if I didn't just gently encourage her to pump the brakes. So we've had our Christmas stuff up. I'm not kidding you. Since the second week in November, I'm looking at a tree right now, sitting here in my living room. So, yeah, we are very much in the Christmas spirit, very much 5 pounds heavier after Thanksgiving, and the shopping is almost done. We're almost there. We're almost at the end.
You're pretty good at that. I think your wife takes care of a lot of it, right, Teddy? Teddy, it looks like your wife takes care of a lot of it. Yeah.
She's the driving force. Let's put it that way. We do it all together. But if she didn't say, "Listen, let's move on this," 2 weeks before, I'd be scrambling. So this is actually kind of nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, fantastic. Let's kind of go into this movie and stuff. Is this the first Hallmark movie you've done, Teddy?
This is the first Hallmark Christmas movie I've done. Yeah, I did a Hallmark movie. Funnily enough, I did one 8 years ago called Backyard Wedding, and it was, I think, before this whole sort of Hallmark Christmas movie juggernaut thing. I remember shooting it in December. It took like 2 or 3 weeks. It was a very quick one. But when the opportunity came this year to do this, I wasn't sure at first. I was like, oh my God, like, the Hallmark Christmas movie thing is such like sort of a crazy runaway phenomenon. But then I was like, yeah, this is really fun. It's putting something very nice and good out into the world. It's very cute and sweet. And I'm excited to see it premiere on Saturday night.
Absolutely. So let's talk about who your cast is. It's an all-star cast for sure you're working with, and I know you're excited about that for sure. Very, very, very much. Yeah, Ashley Williams, she's the star. She's the lead female in the movie, and she's funny. She has an amazing comedy resume, and she's just wonderful, so quick, so witty, and so she really to me really makes the movie sing. Barbara Niven, who's done a lot of different Hallmark movies and TV shows, and of course Holly Robinson Pete, who was another great get, and I believe she has like a series coming out on Hallmark in the new year. So yeah, I mean, among these three powerhouse women, I was sort of pulled along into their sort of wonderful, like, professional orbit, and we just had a lot of fun. We made this neat little movie, and I think we're all going to be pretty proud of it. None of us have seen it, at least I haven't, but from what I understand, everyone's quite happy with how it turned out, and it should be like your quintessential, like holiday comfort food, sitting on the couch and enjoying sort of something really nice and sweet, and I'm excited to see it. I know for a fact there are so many Hallmark Channel fans that love the Christmas movies that are created. I mean, they just really can't wait. And now you're seeing that probably social media-wise, Teddy, or at least hearing about it, that they just there's a huge fan base that loves these Christmas musics that Hallmark produces. Yes, listen, that's a very good point. I didn't know that until I started to, relatives, let's say, asked me, so, well, like, what do you got going on? And I would say, I'm about to go to Vancouver to shoot this Hallmark Christmas movie. And I'm not kidding you. Every single one said, oh, my God, I love that. Or, oh, my God, my wife loves that. And and that was in the case with Friends as well. Basically, I didn't realize how much people love these films until I started to talk about it. And then, of course, I did a little digging, and ratings are up, I don't know, 30 or something % year over year. But basically, these have a big audience. The audience is growing. Hallmark knows that. And I believe they have a new Christmas movie coming out every new day, like between now and Christmas Day itself. There's a new movie debuting on the network. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that's the case, which is wonderful. It gives a lot of people something to get excited about this holiday season. Exactly. Let's talk about Christmas in the Evergreen and your character. First of all, the premise of the movie, and then your character. Yeah, well, Christmas in Evergreen. So Evergreen refers to a town in Vermont, and Evergreen, Vermont is sort of your sort of, I said it before, but quintessential, beautiful, small town, charming, decked out for Christmas type of place. I play a single dad, and my daughter and I have decided to escape the New England climate for a different Christmas this year. Well, of course, in typical Hallmark Christmas movie fashion, things don't go as they are designed to go, and the two of them end up spending Christmas in Evergreen. And of course, there is a beautiful and kind stranger who helps these guys, enjoy the holiday in her small town, and that is the lovely Ashley Williams. So, and then all the other characters who will meet, Barbara Niven and Holly Robinson Pete and a bunch of others, are town members in Evergreen. And so it really is this sort of cute little world that Hallmark's created. And, if all goes well, maybe there'll be more Evergreens in the future. Who knows? And Teddy, what are you the heartbreaker? Especially you're talking surrounded by these women. What's your character? Tell me about your character.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm certainly not the lone man in town, but I am as a single dad, of course. Not exactly looking for love. The premise really is that this is the first Christmas the dad and daughter have spent together due to unforeseen circumstances, and so he really is just trying to find and give his daughter the sort of the best and most memorable Christmas he can. While he's got some of his own stuff, so it's sort of the opposite of a heartbreaker. The opposite of a heartbreaker, but he certainly just I think finds himself surprised and moved by I think the kindness of strangers, to borrow an old line. A great old movie.
We'll have to find out by watching the movie to see what happens.
Yes,
with the talent being a single dad, and how you're spending time with your daughter and showing that connection to see if Teddy will find love in this movie for sure. Teddy, best place we can find information on you and connect with you. I forgot. Are you a social media guy, Teddy? Can we connect you with you that way?
It's funny. I am, but I'm not. So I just have an Instagram account. It's my name. It's at Teddy Sears. No Facebook, no Twitter. There have been some folks, like saying that they're me. In the past, I haven't looked in a very long time, but the genuine article is on Instagram. I'm looking forward to connecting to anyone this week, or of course it debuts Saturday. I'm sure it will rerun. So I'll probably be posting some pictures from behind the scenes this week, which would be really fun. And yeah, man, I would love it if those folks out there watching, shoot me a note, tell me you liked it or whatever. I'd be looking forward to getting those comments over the weekend after it airs.
All right, fantastic. Any other projects going on really quick, Teddy, that your fans can look out for? I'm about to shoot an episode of an NBC show called Timeless, which is sort of a cool time travel show. This will just be a quick sort of. Yeah. So I'm going to shoot that this week. It's the third episode of the new season. I don't really know when it airs, but they go back in time to a Hollywood studio in the 40s, and so that's where you'll find me running RKO Pictures, which is really fun. It'll just be a fun, neat thing to do. I get to grow a creepy handlebar mustache, which was all the rage back then. Awesome.
And, outside of that, you know what? No, reruns of Christmas in Evergreen. How about that?
All right. Well, sounds good, Teddy. Well, thanks for calling.
Thanks,
Look forward to have you on again. Best of luck with all your ventures. Take care. And Merry
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
All right,
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You're listening to the Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.
We're back to the Neil Haley Show on the Total Celebrity segment, and I'm really excited to welcome the program Chandler Kinney of Fox's Lethal Weapon. Chandler, thanks for calling. How are you?
Hi, I'm great, Neil. How are you?
Fantastic. Now, Chandler, I guess it'll go back to I'm a huge fan of Lethal Weapon, the movies. Just one of the most fantastic duos, and the idea that Fox brought it back is fantastic in a television series. Now, did you go back and watch some of the movies, or were you a fan before that of the Lethal Weapon series before the TV show came out, and you became part of it?
So I'm just 17. So when I got the audition, I honestly had no idea. I guess the enormity of what Fox was doing, and I didn't understand it. And but I auditioned, and I can tell you I was immediately in love with the character of Rihanna. She's the daughter on the show, and I loved her confidence and strength, and I guess her rebelliousness. And she was different than any other character I had ever played before. So I was very excited in that aspect. And then when I got my call back, Matt Miller, who's our show developer and creator, and McG, who was our director of the pilot, they were like, go home, watch the films, and then, tell us how you like them. And I was like, okay, does this mean I booked the role? And so, and then I went home and I watched the films, and I was immediately in love with them. I mean, they're my ideal movie with the perfect balance of action with comedy and drama. So I kind of fell in love with the franchise, and it worked out because I was about to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about the movies and then even the television series, the fact that you can put all those components into one show. Sometimes you only see a drama, right? Sometimes you only see comedy. Sometimes you only see action. Put all three things together, and that's Lethal Weapon.
Right. Yeah, that was very important for us to keep that element, because I think that's really the essence of what Lethal Weapon is. And, of course, you know, we have different actors playing different characters, and we've even added characters. Especially going into the second season, we can really take that creative license to tell more stories and go deeper within the characters. But yeah, so it's really just been an incredible journey, and luckily it's been received very well, and that makes us so happy. And honestly, we just love making good TV for people to enjoy. So, but yeah, it's doing really well.
And that's great. And how about working with Damon Wayans? I just wanted to bring that up because I'm a huge fan of Damon's, and he is so funny. You must laugh on the show.
Yeah, let me tell you, Damon is hilarious, and he's honestly such a lovely human being with a really good heart. He's such a big family guy, and so he's kind of become like, you know, he plays my father on screen, but he kind of acts like my father sometimes off of screen. But yeah, he's a really great guy, and he's hilarious. When you watch the show, so many of those lines are just improv that he just throws in there. And it's so interesting getting to watch that firsthand. You can really tell that he is truly a comedic genius. His brain, I can't even wrap my head around the fact how fast he moves on his feet. He's brilliant, really.
He's definitely brilliant, and he's definitely been part of action before. So action and comedy aren't new to this guy at all. That helps too, right? Especially with the rest of the cast.
Right. He does enjoy stunts, although he's getting a little tired of them.
Especially with the kind of stunts that the Lethal Weapon did before. Now, talk about an action scene. How long does that take to film, especially when there's lots of car chases and blow-ups and all the different things that we know about Lethal Weapon?
Yeah, as you know, there's so much action on our show, and that's the basis of our show. And honestly, we have the most incredible stunt team. They get things done so quickly. I would say 1 or 2 days, honestly. Tim Trella, who's our stunt coordinator, he is just incredible, and they move so fast. It's ridiculous. And the stunts are insane, too, also to watch. Like, I'll see people will send me videos of cars being blown up, and I'm like, why was I not on set for that? Why didn't I see that? But, yeah, it's incredible.
So what should we expect from your character in the next couple of weeks without giving anything away? What should we expect?
Right. So Rihanna, this week, I'm very excited. Her storyline kind of expands. You get to see a little bit more of her world without going into too much detail. But, my character kind of lives to annoy her dad. She finds great joy in that. So there will definitely be more of that. I can promise that. And especially this next coming episode, I believe it's called Forget About It, or Forget About It, and she goes behind her back, or goes behind her dad's back about something, and he's not too happy to find out about it. But I think overall for the season, there's just going to be more growth for her, especially in the first season she was a little bit more immature and was trying to find her place in the world and kind of identify herself within her family and who she really was as a person. And in the second season, she really has found it, I'd say, and has just confidently being the person that she is and standing up for things that she believes in. So there definitely will be more of that as well.
All right, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, Lethal Weapon on Fox. Where can we find info on you and connect with you? Where can we go?
Oh, yeah, you can check me out on social media with Instagram and Twitter at Chandler L. Kinney.
All right, well, thanks for calling, and best of luck.
Yeah, thank you so much, Neil.
Take care. Thanks. All right, see you. All right, bye-bye. You're listening to Neil Haley's show. We'll be back in just a moment.